What's unique and different about this, though, is that Lex, the AI, is what I call a generalist on law, and it will do any English-speaking countries on law. I've taken that knowledge and I've specifically trained a debt-busting AI for the United Kingdom, trained on every single law that pertains to the collection of debts in the United Kingdom. So you've got your Consumer Credit, the Laws of Property Act. The Laws of Property Act brackets miscellaneous provisions 1989. And so you have now got the power of a barrister by hitting the return button.
Hey guys, Gavin here from Sovereign Empowerment once again. Special guest today. It's Robert O'Deck from the Observation Deck. Welcome, Robert.
Thanks for having me on, Gav. It's an honor and a surprise to be here. But thank you anyway.
Absolute pleasure, my friend. For those of you that don't know Robert, he's got a YouTube channel and it's bloody brilliant. And in my litigation journey, I should say, it's where I started. Robert, I think, is probably best known for your work really with them diffusing the debt bomb. What you don't know about debt and how this whole rigged game works is not worth knowing. And one of the reasons Robert's here today is he's got something that I think you're going to find mind-blowing. He's got something that is using AI, but to help the average Joe that maybe doesn't even know anything about how this debt works to actually properly litigate and win. And with that said, Rob, I'm completely green here too, because obviously I know about the existence of AI. I'm aware of this chat thing that they've got going on, but I don't really know any more than that. But you've not only do you know about it, you seem to have grasped it and leveled it up a fair few notches. So,
Yeah.
yeah, what is it? What have you got going on?
So as you quite rightly said, Gav, a few years ago, I brought out my first sort of debt. There's loads of books I've brought out, but the debt one obviously is one of the most important because that's what we all suffer from, this constant claims against us. So, and given the current state of the economy and how the country, everybody's going down the tubes, as it were, we've got to fight everything that comes our way. So I started out with diffusing the debt bomb, and and don't get me wrong, this update that I'm going to discuss, there's nothing wrong with the original diffusing the debt bomb, apart from the fact that was all written in my early days and it's perfectly correct and it works, and hundreds, if not thousands of people have used it to great effect. So so I don't want people to think that, oh, he's made some mistakes in there. The only mistake I made in there, hand on heart, was the fact that I included in the original list deed of novation and it doesn't require it. That's it. All right. Everything else as it's fine. However, over the last few years, I have learned so much more by taking debt agents to court myself, appearing in Chancery, but no, we were in Chancery on our terms, not being taken to Chancery. And so cutting my teeth on the front line of litigation. Then I took over debts for my wife, took power of attorney, and then I've dealt with all the major players in the debt world. It's Cabot, Link, Arrow, you name it, I've already dealt with them. And I'm pleased to say that I haven't lost a case. In fact, I couldn't actually say that hand on heart, I haven't lost a case, because none of them's ever turned into a case. But I thought it was time for an update. Now, two reasons. One, I've learned a lot more about the whole debt process, and I'm talking absolutely every nuanced step along the way. I now fully understand why they send what they send, how they send it, the slippery words that they use when they send what they send. There's things like in the new book, what I call the debt merry-go-round. You've sent out your 3 notices and then the SOB's gone and send it to another debt agent, which is usually connected to the same company in the first place, which is misrepresentation. But the point being is that the new book blocks every avenue of escape from the debt agents. No matter what they send back to you, it's blocked in the very first notice. Now, the notice, I know it's going to sound crazy, in the new book is, I was going to update the new book, the Diffusing Debt Bomb, and I got into such a confused state of mind, I just literally pushed it to one side and I started with a blank page and just wrote the whole lot out in a much more formatted order. So in other words, the process that you go through with a debt agent is the same as I've written in the book. So from the initial letter to your response. Now, we all got used to seeing, oh my God, I've got to write out this conditional acceptance, opportunity to cure, default debt. Yeah, that's all gone. It's all gone. Let's cut the bull. Okay. You're going to send one notice, and your opportunity to cure is going to be one paragraph and then say, see attached. And then you're going to add the first notice. And then your default notice is going to go, see attached. Now they've had 3 times the same 6 pages, and the 6 pages now contain every single law that covers every aspect. Then when you get a typical reply like, we don't have to show you the deed of assignment because it's commercially sensitive information. Okay, that bull thrown out because it's now got several case citations telling the debt agent what you've just said is bull. Okay, and here's the court cases. Now, the reason that this has all been put the way is because they will have absolutely no excuse when they step into a court of law, because you would have obviously sent it recorded delivery and have the numbers. Okay, there'll be absolutely no excuse for any debt agent to say they didn't know, and ignorance of the law is no excuse anyway. So you've sent them the case law. Now, what many people don't realize is, and we had a quick chat before we came on, is that when you've put case citations to back the law and what you've just said, so the format is pretty simple. The first notice is actually set out like a case bundle. So all you got to do is transfer that into your case bundle and just number it points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you got your case bundle. All right. You don't have to do anything because it's got, this is what they did. Here's the law. Here's the citation. Right. Now that is common law, which means the judge has to follow the law, especially if you've got a high court case citation sitting right there. The notices are basically inbuilt. So even when you're doing a case bundle, you would put, this is what I'm stating, this is the law, and then you back it up with case law, and then you move on to point 2, 3, 4. That's pretty much how you set out a case anyway. You've got that, you've got all the laws, you've got linked references to the laws to make sure that everything is correct, and the citations themselves. So it's a lot easier. The whole process is a lot smoother. What's unique and different about this, though, is that obviously I created the platform lawexplore.io with Lex, the AI, that basically is what I call a generalist on law, and it will do any English-speaking countries on law. So I've taken that knowledge and I've specifically trained a debt busting AI for the United Kingdom that's accessible through that book. So it's been trained on the information that I've put in the book, but it's also been trained on every single law that pertains to the collection of debts in the United Kingdom. So you've got your Consumer Credit, the Laws of Property Act. And one of the laws that weren't in the original debt bomb, but is now in, is the Laws of Property Act brackets miscellaneous provisions 1989. Now, the reason I've added that is because the original Laws of Property Act 1925, yes, it does talk about the deed of assignment. But for your viewers and my viewers, here's the killer blow. If you take a very close look at the Laws of Property Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1989, specifically deals with the modern worlds and the transfer of the deed of assignment. Now, here's the good bit where it clarifies the law on deeds of assignment. And it's in the book. Not only have you got the signature of the assignor and the assignee, but you must have an independent witness, and all 3 parties have to be in the room at the same time.
Wow. And that's in that act. I've got to check that out now.
Okay, they must all be present, which we know, given the process of how debt agents acquire the debts, never takes place.
Do you realize how big that is?
All right. So it hasn't just killed, I want the deed of assignment. It's killed the very process banks and debt agents use in order to hassle you for unlawful claims or claims they cannot evidence. And the reason they can't evidence should now be clear. Because
brilliant.
So if you look at the Miscellaneous Act 1989, which I say is in the book and it describes it all, and that's also in the training material that I gave to the AI. All right. So there isn't a law that I could think of that sits outside of what I've created, not only in the book, but all of that knowledge in its entirety has gone over to the AI, and the AI itself, it can comprehend anything that you put in it. So if you've got documents on digitized documents, you can just load it in and literally say, give me a reply by accessing your knowledge base to that. No more typing, no more worrying about what am I going to write, no more having to do hours, months, and years of research. And if you don't quite get it, don't worry about it. If the AI turns around and brings out something that you're not quite sure about, then ask questions and it will answer them. And then at the end of it, once you've got it right in your head, you can say, based on the information above, can you please draft me a reply copy? Certainly. Bang. You're done. Okay. You don't have to do anything anymore.
So guys, obviously I've been aware of AI. I just got to say this because Rob and I had a little chat before we came on here and recorded. I've been aware of it, but not really any understanding. Now, Rob was explaining this to me and I'm sitting thinking, this is just too good to be true. I couldn't get my head around it. And then he showed me it in action. And to talk about mind blown, I was speechless. I didn't really know what to say because the ramifications of what I was witnessing were just blowing my head apart in terms of what you can actually do with this thing now. Everything you said is absolutely true. And do you want to show it now?
Yeah, I've got my mobile. Oh, hang on. Okay, guys, you're going to have to see the crack, real OD's office, right? It's my man cave. So let me turn off virtual background. Otherwise you won't be able to see my phone. All right. And I'm not going to apologize for the mess because I'm a guy, right? So there you go. It's a bit dark out there, but hey ho, this is where I live. You can see all my books and and God knows what else, but and let me move the microphone out of the way. It's distracting. Okay, so here's my mobile phone. Now, obviously, you can use this on most people will be using it on their laptop or PC, so that's fine. But if you thought Siri was smart, then so here it is, and you can see the logo for OpenAI there. So I'm just going to press it. This is what I showed Gavin earlier. That brings up the ODEC Debt Mentor, which is linked in the book. Okay. Now you do need an OpenAI account, which is out of my hands, but for 17 quid a month, which I think is what it works out and what this can do. Now, obviously I can sit there and type a message on my mobile, which would probably take me a long time to explain. But if I give it very little clues, which is what I did with Gav, I'm going to tap because I'm just going to talk to it. If I just tap and then tell it what, I've just got a letter from a debt agent and I'm not quite sure how to reply. Can you give me some of the provisions in law that I can ask them? Especially what sort of evidence would I request from a debt agent? There you go. That was just like a bit of a babble, right? And then all I need to do is just hit that button to fire it up. And now it's accessing the knowledge base and it's now going to give me everything I just asked for very quickly. Proof of the debt. And then it's going to carry on doing its thing. I'll get my hand out of the way, but you can imagine it's still going. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all you need to do.
It talks about proof of assignment there as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you guys, but this would blow my mind. The speed of that's right.
FCA license to operate as a debt collector, legal basis, financial
clarity as well, the specific
proof of identity and authenticity. So you heard what I just asked it, and it's going crazy.
So imagine if you don't know anything and you just given it a very simple kind of almost don't know anything, it's still going. And then what I asked Robert is that, so basically you could take that information and then ask it, you could essentially upload even their paperwork and then say, I'm guessing use that information and write me a rebuttal or a notice.
So if you look, and this is on the same as a PC. So on a mobile, it will have the plus sign. On a laptop or something, you'll just see like a paperclip sign. You just click that, upload your letter, notice document that you've got from whoever, or your own that you've written and say, can you rewrite that, include all the rest of it? And go, yeah, sure, bang, it's done that. But it will analyze what you've been sent because it comprehends content. It's not just reading.
That's what's like nuts, isn't it?
Yeah. And then it will reply accordingly. And so you have now got the power of a barrister by hitting the return button.
Probably more power as well.
More power actually, because it came in the top 10% aisle of passing the bar exam anyway. So, you know.
Like you're better than most barristers. Can I ask a quick question just before it escapes me? And it's one we asked before because I know some people might be asking this. One of the things I was aware of with AI, and actually it's why I didn't really go near it in the end, is that I heard that it can be inaccurate. It can even make stuff up in terms of answers. So in the legal world, you don't want that, especially if you don't really know what's going on. Like, so how is yours different? How will it not give that kind of
Yeah, it's a good question, Gav. So why is my AI more accurate than your general GPT or OpenAI's AI? That's quite simple because you can create your own private AI. And there are two very important factors involved. One is the knowledge base that you give it. So obviously all of the laws that are quoted in that book are part of this AI's knowledge base. So it knows every single one before you even start. On top of that, what you read in the book is also the whole book itself is part of the knowledge base. So that's the first criteria. So you've got to know what to put in there in the first place. The second, and probably the most critical aspect, is knowing how to create a ring fence, which we call a system prompt, and specific instructions on how the AI is to act, how it can access, how it cannot access certain other bits of information like the that's on the internet and all the rest of that stuff. So you've literally tied its hands to say, you will only use what's here. Okay. You will not jump out and start spouting off other legislation and this, that, and the other, and acts and statutes and all the other. You will only use what is an advantage to the user in this context and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And there are other security things that you can do to ring fence and to literally create what you want specifically for that specific task and no other. So once that's all done, and I'm oversimplifying it, but once that's all done, then you're going to go through a period of testing. And you better know the subject matter to start with, because if you don't, how would you know it's hallucinating or not? And even when I've done that, it came up with a few things that I'm like, well, that's not actually correct. But if I didn't have the knowledge I had, I might put that into a document, not knowing, and send it off and look like a plonker. Or worse still, make a legal mistake. But I can assure your viewers and mine, it won't make any mistakes. I have tested this to destruction, and the speed that thing can do what it does. You might have spent days, weeks, possibly even months trying to draft something, and oh my God, they've sent that back. While they're busy now getting their legal department to type all this shit out, all you got to do is go upload, boom, give me a reply to that, hit return, and go and have your tea. You're done.
I will say on that, because what that just did and just started throwing up, I can go back to my days beginning this and watching videos on your channel. That information, just to have the framework to know what you're even asking for,
Yeah.
that's months of reading and research and even trial and error. Because not when I did it, you've got to start doing stuff to get the responses to what I call dial yourself in, to
Yeah,
know how to
exactly.
try and deal with it.
Well,
That's
part and parcel,
months.
and I understand that. And over the last couple of years, especially with the Telegram group and obviously the comments on YouTube and what have you, it was obvious to me that another reason for this, because I'm calling it diffusing the debt bomb too, because everybody knows what diffusing the debt bomb is. All right. But it's a complete rewrite. It's not an update. And obviously the integration of AI is a fantastic way of doing it, because it takes away all of the problems that I was told about along this journey, which is I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm not very good at writing. Oh, and by the way, for all of our ethnic minorities that live in the UK, not a problem. Type in your own language, not a problem. And then you can convert it back to English. Okay. No. So it will speak Hindi and God knows what else. So just get on with it. All right. So it's multicultural, people. Just because we're using English, because we're two English guys, all right, don't think that we're shutting out the rest of the market, because we're not. So you can literally say, I'm going to be conversing with you in, like my wife from the Philippines, it's Tagalog, and then it will convert it back to UK. If you want comprehension, you can read it in your own language and then go, now give me that in English, and it will just pump it out in English as well for you. So it's not it's inclusive. We'll do it that way. It's diverse and inclusive. But yeah, but it doesn't speak woke. Sorry about that.
I was going to just ask you that question.
Yeah, that goes, what the anyway, but so it's about as knowledgeable and versatile as you will ever need. And it is, I mean, this is just one area of it, but my combination of my curiosity for AI, and I know there's some people going to go, oh my God, AI is going to take over the world. AI is going to take over the world, whether you use this tool or not.
It's here anyway, isn't it? Yeah.
It's already here. And in case you didn't know it, folks, AI's been around for many years. It's only in the last 2 years that the public has been given access to it. So don't think for one moment every single Google search wasn't controlled by AI. Otherwise, you wouldn't see the bias it sees. But on top of all of that, if you're a little bit hesitant about using AI, fear not, because I've also added to this whole package my 40-page book on prompt engineering, all right, which is free. It's part of the package. So you get that 40-page book, which can also be downloaded for free separately on my other Law Explore platform in the resource section. In fact, if you have a look at Law Explore resource section, and it'd be great if you could subscribe to Law Explore because it helps and it's a very good site. That's obviously run by Lex AI. That took me a year to build, and it's generalized, but it does cover the laws in every English-speaking country, and it speaks 27 different languages. But the point is that if you go into the resource section of Law Explore, you will not only see the free prompt engineering book to download, but you will find loads of other legal books on trusts, contracts, and magistrates' courts, process. There's a whole library in there, and it's all free. Okay, so you can just download the PDFs and you can keep them for yourselves. That's my gift to you guys.
By the way, Robert, I can share the links to all of these resources in the description to the video, right? On our channel. Yeah. So
By
the
all
links
means,
for all
yeah.
of this stuff will be under the video itself to access.
Yeah. And so you've got the book, which is a standalone product. The AI component is optional because obviously some people might want to use it. You'd be crazy if you didn't want to use it, but you will have to have your own independent OpenAI account. There's nothing I can do about that because that's how you access. And again, there is a disclaimer in the book, and I've got to say this now, that I cannot be held responsible if that AI at some point in the future doesn't work because something's changed in OpenAI. But believe me when I tell you that if something does change in OpenAI and I have to do something, I will do it without you even noticing, and you won't even notice a glitch because I'm up on all of this stuff. And the reason it answers all of these questions is because you don't any longer have to worry about months of research. You don't have to worry now about not being sure of your position. You don't have to be worried about typing anything out because AI will do it for you. And if you're not sure, you can interrogate the AI on absolutely any question on debt whatsoever, and it will answer you honestly and accurately. So what else could anyone possibly need?
Can I ask a question? I know this just occurred to me, and I probably might even come across a silly question. Like when you go back and forth. I used to go back and forth with these debt collectors while I was still dialing myself in, and you feel like I've got that facts bang on. They can't do much with it, and then they come back again with some other bull. I was going to go with that one there. So how with the AI, if you've already got that going on, could somebody go, I'm going to take their bull, put it into the AI and go, comprehend that, now draft me the rebuttal. And it would be able to do all of that.
It
Use
will
what
do
you've
it in a
loaded, and it will
second.
just give you it'll just shut it down for you.
It will just shut it down in a second.
That's
it.
unbelievable.
And all
That's
you got
like-
to do is cut, copy, paste. And the other thing, and this is critical for people who use the AI, there is no reason why you have to put your private data in it. The AI will just create automated fields for you. And then you put it into your own document, and then you just fill in those fields, your name, your address, the account number, and all the rest of it. You do not put in those details into the AI. You don't have to. It already knows. It doesn't need your private data. Okay.
I'm absolutely mind blown. I was mind blown before, but I'm still mind blown now just hearing what Robert's saying about this thing.
Yeah, because I was very cognizant of the fact that all going to be putting my private data in. No, you don't have to say, oh, my name is John Smith or such. So you don't have to say anything like that. I live at, no. Just tell the AI, leave the fields for me to fill in. Now, this is the situation. It doesn't know who it's talking to.
Yeah.
Now draft me a reply to that document I just gave you, quoting all the relevant provisions in law that they must adhere to. Bang. Job done.
Hang on, I'm just thinking more things now. Okay, let's say somebody's watching this and they're like, okay, I've been back and forth, and the bug, because this commonly happens, they ignore what they're doing, even though they're asking for like proof of liability, and then they bring a claim in court. So there's folks out there now that will be in that situation thinking, what am I supposed to do? I'm assuming this could also draft defenses on the same basis.
It doesn't matter at what stage you're dealing with debt collectors are. It will even tell you what an N244 is. Side. It will draft the N244 for you. It will If you get a solicitor's letter, you upload that and go, give me, in fact, in the book, there's a 2-page reply to solicitors, which absolutely minces them anyway on the SRA rulings. That's the Solicitors Regulation Authority. So it knows all of that. It knows provisions 1, 5, and 7, which the solicitors got to adhere to, which is transparency and due diligence, which clearly any solicitor's letter that you get pertaining to a debt that hasn't yet given you evidence, clearly the solicitor has broken provision 2 of the SRA, for the simple fact is they haven't done their due diligence.
I'm going to take a little note of that.
Well, it's in the book, mate. So every single aspect that I could possibly think of from one end of debt collection to the other has been done in that respect. Now, if say, for instance, you got to the point where I've got a county court judgment, okay, get it set aside, use the case law that's in the very first notice, you just lift it out, and then you can say to the judge, here's why it should be struck out. Bye-bye. Next one, say, for instance, you've got a black mark against your credit reference, right? You've got a default, right? That's pretty damn easy as well, because you could just ask the AI and say, send me a letter or draft me a letter, but you can use it as an email as well. So you can go straight to Equifax and all the rest of it and go, oi, what are you doing putting a default on an unenforceable claim? Here's the supreme case law that says you can't do that. Remove it. Bang, they're done. All right. I've covered every base that I could possibly think of in not just the process of debt collection, but what happens after, whether that be in court or a credit reference agency. They're all dead in the water now.
I can't express upon you guys enough how big this is. So whatever stage you are with regards to your knowledge, you've now got a tool that's like a barrister in your back pocket kind of thing.
Yeah.
With as much knowledge as I'm talking about the top end of the barrister. This isn't like just being a barrister, because there are levels of skill set in that. This is right at the top end in your back pocket that can help you litigate. And I say that word intentionally because you can now bin the bloody 3-letter process templates, all that crap that's going around, and litigate properly with this tool.
Exactly. The 3-letter process is there for a reason as far as pre-action protocols is concerned, because the first thing the courts will want to see is, did you make every effort? But the way that and this is why the first notice is 6 pages, is because it shuts down every avenue of escape that the debt agents try and pull on you. And I know that from experience, not vicarious knowledge that I read on the internet. Okay. Nothing in that book, it's obviously been confirmed on the internet, but I have experienced in real life myself every aspect of what I'm now putting in that book. So I know it's accurate, it's true, and it works. Because the thing is, say, for instance, they go, oh, we're not. So I've anticipated in the very first notice. And if you think you're going to come out with BS, a redacted deed of assignment, right? Now, there's 2 points there. One is, there's the High Court case that says that's bull. You will show me it, because the judge has already ruled against it. Oh, and by the way, if it was linked PRA and one of the other ones, the case was actually against them. So they are well aware. So if you're writing to one of the people whose cases have been cited, that's going to be even better. All right. And there's quite a few in there. And I think Cabot and PRA have got sections of their own because they're the biggest people on them. So you've got the case law that not only wipes out what they think they're going to put as a default on the credit reference agency. Unenforceable claims cannot be on the credit reference agency, period. Here's the High Court ruling. So you can send that off to Equifax or whoever it is. And because you've sent it in your first notice, all right, you've shut them down, because if they reply knowing that court case, that's not going to look good later when you take them to court, because the judge is, and remember, because you didn't just put it in the conditional acceptance, you attached it to the opportunity to cure and the default notice. So they've had it 3 times, 3 strikes and you're out. There's nowhere to move. It's like, hang on, the judge, you say that you were told 3 times. So why didn't you give them the evidence? It's already established common law, the law of precedence. So they've got some real explaining to do, right? Now, here's the other flip side of that coin. Isn't that then fraud, Section 2, 2006, because you see, the inference and the test for fraud, and I've got a whole section on fraud and what the test is and everything else. So I actually go into detail, and all you have to do when you get those letters is say, does it tick that box and that box? Yeah, gotcha. Because people, don't be satisfied with these turning around and saying to you, oh, we've closed your account, right? I only have one. No, you ain't finished yet. Okay. Now you're going to drag them into court because the mere fact that they've closed the account after sending you all of this crap, which is misrepresentation or fraud by omission, all right, the compensation starts at 5K plus your costs. And the more people that spin it around, we should now, especially with this package, change our mindsets from defense to attack because you now have the tools. You have everything you could possibly need, and you've locked in the judge's decision for a summary judgment because there's no way, given the evidence and what they've written to you, because on the balance of probabilities, which is a legal term, on the balance of probabilities, would a normal member of the public be convinced that they owned the deed of assignment? By the phrase, you can't see it because it's redacted. And so you basically admitted that you've got it then when you haven't. So you are lying to me in order to get money. Tut, Mr. Debt Collector, that's not how the real world works, is up until now, because people are unaware of that. But Fraud 2006 is quite clear on the matter. Misrepresentation or fraud by omission. It's as simple as that. They didn't omit it, and sometimes they obviously do. They won't answer your questions. That's a mission in itself. But you've given them 3 opportunities, and 3 times they lied or inferred that they had a document, or let's just stop calling it a document, that they had title to even communicate with you. Now, if they didn't have title to communicate with you, then that has a domino effect against DPA and GDPR. And if they stuck a default notice on Equifax, then now you've got defamation of character. There's a whole litany of stuff you can throw at them now. They always, for those people who know, it's like, we've closed your account without liability. You immediately, that's a catch. That's a legal loophole. All right. Because if you don't write back in 14 days and turn and go, yes, you do have liability, then the presumption is you've agreed with them that they have no liability. Don't let them off the hook, and send it recorded delivery and say the next thing you're going to get, and take this as a letter before notice before claim for full liability with costs and compensation. And then once you've whacked and spanked their ass in court on that lot, you can walk into your bank quite happily on that court order and get a clawback if you paid on direct debit. Bye-bye, Mr. Debt Agent.
This is it, guys. This is game over. This is the game over.
This is why I think, and I guess your viewers and mine can think, oh my God, Rob's get a bit passionate about this, but I do, because I know the amount of work that's gone into it and the power of the AI. What you saw on that mobile phone, it was just, I mean, I was deliberately as if I had no idea about what I was talking about, but that's okay. AI will go bang. And you can do that for yourselves on laptop, PC, cross-platform, or as you saw on mobile, doesn't really matter. Although it'd be, for me, doing stuff on mobile is just a demonstration. But it's great because I'm walking around the streets with a lawyer in my pocket.
It's brilliant. It's I can say for myself, right? Obviously, we help people with this stuff, and that's one of the things that we do. And I can say that drafting just a notice where you're putting all of the facts in, if you're doing a rebuttal, that's comfortably a morning. It's a good few hours, 3 hours, sometimes more, because you'll know this. Your first draft is never the right one. There's iteration, refining, and you finally get your document you're ready to go with. That's just literally done that in less than the bleeding minute with some very simple prompts. That's what's blowing my mind.
Well, I take a fancy to that, Gav. It's approximately 20 seconds. But yeah.
But that's the point. It's just, you can literally do that, send it off and go about your day, not spend your days reading, researching, writing, and all the other stuff that we've been doing.
Yeah. And rather than worry like, oh, what am I going to write? Got them all right. It's hit return, deal with that. Okay, let's enjoy the day. It's come so far. And as I was talking to you about when it took almost a year to create Law Explore. And during that period, I got the developers, because obviously I was paying out of my own pocket, but I got the developers to teach me everything behind the scenes about AI, because I knew the moment it was launched, I'm like, I want a lawyer. And now I can get a specialist lawyer in any area of law. Can you imagine? And I'm going to do this for shits and giggles. I might just give this one away for free, right? But I'm going to create a road traffic act AI. If you ever get stopped on the road and you got your app sitting there, you just go, bang. Sorry, mate, what was that? No, I think you're wrong there. They got, yeah,
So
yeah.
no, I ain't
Have a
listening.
word with my, have a word with my barrister. All right. What does that say there? Section, what is it you quoted? Nah, you're wrong there, mate. All right. What about bailiffs knocking on your door? Boom.
I'm still reeling a little bit from this and processing because I've obviously you're seeing me react in real time. The implications have just extended again. This what you can do with this thing is mind blowing to me.
And this is what sometimes frustrates me with, and it's not on a regular basis, I must admit, but there are what I would call, in the nicest possible way, Luddites. And to me, why would you not have such a powerful tool sitting on a bloody mobile phone dealing with absolutely anything and anyone that comes your way to try and make a claim against you? And I know enough about the remedy world or the different provisions within the remedy world. Obviously, I've made my kind of niches as far as debt is concerned, but we're talking like bailiffs, liability orders, all the rest of that stuff, all right, that can all be encoded. And provided you've given it the right information and you've created the ring fence I was talking about earlier, you're covered. You're
Yeah.
absolutely covered. And there's no more of, oh, I've got to quote this law, I've got to try and remember it. You don't have to remember a damn thing. It's there.
There's not again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to be there's not a single topic of law that this can't now deal with.
No, it's
All of
anything,
it.
which is what Law Explore in its entirety was first created on. It's
Right.
pick any topic you like,
Yeah.
right? And it will do what you ask it to do. The difference between Law Explorer and this is that Law Explorer is the big generalized one. So if you want like law
Yeah.
of contracts or this, that, and the other, or whatever it might be, that's great. But because I've got a complement to diffusing the debt bomb, I thought actually it's not in competition against Law Explorer because they're different beasts. With diffusing the debt bomb, it's a specialist area and it's only UK. Although, as we speak, just before I came on with you, Gav, I'm probably 70% of the way through the USA version
Oh wow. Okay.
of the debt busting AI.
Yeah.
So I've done all the federal provisions and all the rest of it. Now I'm just going through state by state and finding out what the links are and the information as regards to licensing. So it's similar to our FCA, but it's an American version for those guys. I've already done the American notice, the first notice of all the different provisions, the federal provisions, Article 9, and all this kind of stuff. And at least I know with what I've done in the UK, what I'm looking for over in the US, because I had so many comments when I launched this last Friday saying, can you do one for the US? Can you do that? But I did say in the video, look, if I get enough interest, yes, but it's not a 5-minute job. Oh, I
Yeah.
did see one comment saying, all you need to do is go to ChatGPT, give it your book and go, give it a US version. Yeah, you go for it, mate. See what happens. All right. If it was that simple, everybody would
Everyone will be doing it.
be,
Exactly.
and if it was that simple, why am I taking a couple of weeks to actually get it right?
Yeah.
And I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's not only the commercial world that's being turned upside down and the design world but we in the remedy world, and I honestly, from my heart, and it's not cheesy, but I wanted something by the people for the people. And I'm very proud of what I've created. And the price point is available to everybody. Yes, I've got to keep the lights on and what have you, but you can, I think we discussed the price, which is 40 quid for the whole lot. All right. And that's well within the range of most people.
Put that into context as well, like you say. That is, I know some people are out there in dire straits, but £40 is generally in the range for most people. But the other part of that is if I don't know, if Cabot or one of these other goons are chasing you from K or whatever it may be, 40 quid, and then you've got this tool that can literally do the litigation for you.
Oh, if you typed out a detailed draft and then you put it on your computer. Now, if you just go back 2 or 3 years and you employed a professional, that's going to cost you 300-400 quid.
Oh, yeah.
Just to get a letter. These guys charge 280 to 350 quid an hour. For 40 quid, you can get it done in 20 seconds and drink a cup of tea with no extra charges.
And you
So-
still got it the next day and the next day.
You've still got it the next. Yeah, it's on call 24/7.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely nothing. While I'm trying to keep the lights on, I'm not out to rip anybody off to say, oh, it's £100, it's £1,000 because of what it can do. And the lawyers would. But, and the other advantage that we've got, and I don't know whether it's come over to the UK yet, but it's already happened in the US. Lawyers have been told by the Supreme Court they're not allowed to use AI generated information in the courts.
Wow.
In case you didn't know that.
I didn't know. I was saying to Robert earlier on, again, the ramifications, I'm still trying to get my head around it, but it seems to me we've just killed the flipping legal profession.
Yeah, a lot of
Litigants in
students.
person have literally leveled up like that now with this.
Oh yeah, we haven't leveled up, mate. We just went straight past them.
Yeah.
They're standing in the pits.
I don't see it, guys. I'm just going to say, from what I also know, and I'm behind Robert in his knowledge, but I don't see how you can lose a single debt claim case now. And if you get it at the beginning with this, you're just going to knock it out in one notice. It's going to be done at the beginning. But if you're litigating or even if you've got a CCJ, this is going to undo all of that.
Yes. Yeah. It'll
You
take
can't
on
lose.
solicitors, CCJs, Equifax, and obviously debt agents themselves. There's nobody else in the frame.
With that said, guys, all of the links that you're going to need to access this are in the video underneath. Okay, so you can go there and get it. I'm going to get it because I can't wait to have a go on this, I'll tell you. And I might even actually start posting some of the stuff I'm coming up with. I don't even know what it's going to do, but I'm really excited to get into it. Robin, is there anything else you want to add to that? Just to cap
No,
yourself?
I think given the amount of work that's gone in there, the potential it's got, and obviously that was a very brief example on the phone, but it gives you an indication. But from my perspective, any help that you or your viewers can give in promoting this whole package to help them out would then help me out as well. They could say, oh, it's blatant marketing. Actually, yeah and no, because it's a win for everybody. And it allows me to continue to do what I do best, which is I think I'm the only person at the moment that is combining cutting edge technology into the remedy world and coming up with real solid, real life solutions.
More power to you. And I guess just to cap that bit off on that bit, what's that saying? A workman is worthy of his hire. People like Robert putting their time in, all of their time to do this sort of stuff. And as he says, he's got to eat and he's got to keep the lights on.
This is a full-time job for me. I don't do anything else.
It's fair, it's equitable that there'd be some compensation for that. But given what he's giving away, not giving away, but providing here for £40, Jesus, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. So with that said, guys, thank you for watching. Hope that you enjoyed it. And Robert, speak very soon.
All right, Gav. Thanks a lot, mate. Much
Thanks,
appreciated.
Mate. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Wow. Brilliant. I'm still speechless. My head's blowing.
Ever grappled with the labyrinth that is the legal system? It's a maze of jargon, procedures, and power plays that can stump even the most intelligent among us. Enter How to Win in Court, a transformative course designed to level the playing field. Brought to you by the dynamic partnership of Sovereign Empowerment and Dr. Frederick Graves. This course is like a compass, guiding you through the intricate passages of the legal system. It provides powerful case-winning strategies and tools for controlling solicitors and persuading judges. This isn't just about understanding the law, it's about empowering you to use the law to your advantage. This comprehensive course eliminates guesswork and empowers you to navigate the legal landscape with confidence. Imagine having step-by-step instructions at your fingertips, demystifying the complex world of court cases. With How to Win in Court, that's precisely what you'll get. There's a treasure trove of sample forms, video seminars, audio clips, and comprehensive classes waiting for you. Finally, you'll have all the tools you need to persuade and control judges in any case or court. The beauty of this course is its accessibility. Whether you're an early bird or a night owl, you can dive into the course material anytime with round-the-clock online access. And no matter the device, be it your smartphone, tablet, or laptop, you'll have seamless access to the course. You'll also gain access to invaluable tools like the free online legal research tool, legal dictionary, and a Q&A forum. Learn from a seasoned attorney with over 40 years of winning experience who has distilled his expertise into this comprehensive program. These resources are like having a personal legal advisor, always ready to assist you, but without having to pay exorbitant legal fees. For those struggling to afford a solicitor, this course is a beacon of hope. Good people have suffered too long at the hands of power because they didn't know how to fight back, or they didn't have access to the right resources. Now, in a matter of just a few days, you can acquire the tools and the knowledge that it takes law students years to achieve. With the right knowledge and tools, you'll be able to navigate the legal waters with confidence, winning your case without expensive legal representation. Alternatively, if you already have a solicitor, you can equip them with the tools and tactics to fight effectively on your behalf. Level the playing field and secure your victory. And the cherry on top? Upon course completion, you'll receive an honorary law degree, a testament to your newfound legal prowess. No matter what court, civil or criminal, you'll be able to conquer any courtroom challenge with ease. This step-by-step guidance ensures a quick and straightforward learning experience, empowering you to navigate the legal system with bulletproof confidence. That's right, the power to navigate the legal system is now within your reach. All it takes is the will to learn and the courage to empower yourself. Everyone deserves access to the right legal knowledge. That's why we offer the jurisdictionary law course at an unbeatable price. For less than the cost of a 1-hour legal consultation, you'll gain unlimited access to this complete program for up to 2 full years. Take control of your legal battles without breaking the bank. So why wait? Enroll in the jurisdictionary course today and take that first step towards legal empowerment. How to Win in Court has become the most trusted law course worldwide for almost 30 years. Don't miss out on this exclusive opportunity to gain the upper hand in the courtroom. Your journey to mastering the legal system starts here. When you have access to the right resources, you will become a force to be reckoned with in any courtroom. So click the link now to become empowered with all the information you'll ever need to know how to win in court. Learn how to use the court system that is there to protect you, your family, your property, and most of all, your rights.